Hello and welcome back to Grind to Learn. Alright, so time to take the ship to another level as we turn this into this. All right, so we take this ship to another level, did all the little upgrades. First things first is taking this small grid assault cannons, just utilizing the large grid small connector just to play around with it. And plus we needed something that's a little bit lower than the assault cannons behind it. So went with the smaller ones here in place of it. I mean, honestly, I want to use auto cannons, but I don't have auto cannons through Grind and Learn, so there's that. I didn't make any changes inside, but more or less on the outside, as you saw in the time lapse and right over here. So we did start in the rear section by adding the ion thrusters. So we have these ion thrusters right over here. They're doubled up because they're 2 blocks tall, not like the atmosphere thrusters or the hydrogen thrusters were 3 blocks tall or wide or whatever the case may be. So instead I doubled it up this way, and I'm hoping that these blocks do not take damage, which kind of looked like that one did take a little bit of damage, but I'm not sure. Well, we'll test to see it eventually when we start to fly this thing upwards into there. I mean, it kind of looks like it's cleared, but also the smaller sections right here aren't clear. So if it does kind of toast it, it's going to toast it, whatever. We'll take it apart if necessary. But that's what we did with converting the atmosphere thrusters to ion thrusters there. So we did it on both sides. We extended it instead of having an odd number, and now it's an even number. But of course, it's a little bit different in terms of the design here, which is perfectly fine. As long as we can get it kind of looking a little bit okay. We could have squished it a little bit instead and just did 1 and 1. But why not have 4 total going forward? And then on the sides, we use a bunch of ion thrusters. So a nifty little design here with the sci-fi thruster in the middle and the warfare ones on the side. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these patterned. So it's going to be a lot of side thrusting for us, which is be great. Especially once we're in space. And it'll be space ready. All the hydrogen thrusters can probably turn off once we're there because we have so much ion thrusters. And of course, backwards, we have 2 more, but this time we did it vertical instead of horizontal. Once again, hopefully it doesn't burn anything, but it looks like it might. If it does, it does. Not a big deal. And on the other side, we did the same thing there. And of course, on the bottom, we did a bit of a change. We left a little bit of the atmosphere thruster, the flat ones. For now, we don't really need them, but just in case, I just left it there. And towards the bottom, same aspect. We might get it burned down. It might not. It likely will, it looks like. But I just kind of left it like that for now. So you have 1 here, upward thruster. Another one over here for upward thruster. And you have 3 smaller ones that way. And that's just for an added design. Both sides are similar. So you have total 4 upward thrusters in that case. And of course, lastly, we have downward thrust. So I kind of forgo 1 extra small thruster versus what we have on the bottom, but kind of looks a little bit better without it. But we could just add it anyways. Not a big deal. Downward thrust, 4 total large ones, more than enough thrust anyways for the ship, especially in space. So it's gonna be fairly maneuverable in this case. We may need to add 1 or 2 more gyroscopes if anything, but there is space in between, like right here, to put stuff as well. So we need more thrust, we need batteries, we need weapons. We might be able to do that. Actually, well, weapons not necessarily because we have no ports for it. This one we could probably do a weapon and put it right over here to shoot on the rear side and the side here if necessary. But again, the main mission is to get to space. It's not necessarily to use it to battle or anything like that. That's going to be for another series. But we will keep the ship as well. And that is pretty much it, aside from that thing over here. So the thrusters that we took out that were on the bottom, I think we had 6 total on each side. But we probably had 8, I think, right? 2 in here. But we added this back section just to try to get us into space. It's obviously an afterthought, but it looks kind of decent for it. And 6 atmosphere thrusters just to point it upwards and get us out into space. That's the more important thing. But of course, we do also have the hydrogen thrusters as well. So the 2 over there should be more than enough to help us push through and get to space. And of course, what we can do is go diagonally upwards instead of straight up, so that the bottom hydrogen thrusters can give it a little bit of help as well. And the atmosphere thruster right over there. So I didn't really want to do a phase where we detach it and waste it. Although we could have, because we're not really doing much once we get to space. But I kind of like the attachment, so I left it there. And if I want to detach it, I'll probably manually detach it. If it's too heavy and we need to save the hydrogen, we'll just grind down the gray markers here and here. And on the other side as well. And on the other side as well. And then we release the 6 thrusters in that case. So there's still a lot of work to be done in the back end. The only other concern I have is the backward thrust for the hydrogen. I mean, we don't really necessarily need it for sure, but we don't have much. We have 6 on top and we have 6 on the bottom, so total 12. that may be just equivalent to maybe one large hydrogen thruster, but might not be enough for stopping power if we really need to use the hydrogen. And of course, last episode we said we're gonna lift the ban on drills, and that's what we did. So we put a whole bunch of O2 H2 generators right here, the new ones from the fieldwork pack, and we end up making a bit of a hole right in here. So we're able to grab as much little ice as we can, so that O2 H2 generators can generate the ice or hydrogen that we need and fill up our tanks as much as possible, which looks like we only put a small little dent, so more work to be done. Unfortunately, I don't have a large grid drill or a small grid drill. I only have this, but we're gonna try our best to constantly drill out as much as we can, get as much ice as we can, and then get it all set to get to space. So it looks like we have about one more episode to go, and that is the flight test. Technically, the flight test goes well, I guess we're heading off to space, and we'll continue a different adventure from there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please like and subscribe. Don't forget to drop a comment down below, invitation to say hi, and of course, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.